Hello there, Armanis here with another Medieval Engineers update. Today we're going to look at what I've done to my castle over yesterday's video. Some of the changes I've made, some of the things that I've done. Just a quick update, like I said I was going to do, and so let's get started. So nothing really new. Well, actually all we had was the wall yesterday. The wall was done. So let's just kind of go and take a look at some of the smaller buildings. Right off, you see this nice little barn here. This is probably going to end up being, this is going to end up being a little stable. I'm going to actually take time to build some sort of stable, maybe even make working stable doors. You know, because knights in their castles, they need horses. They need to be able to ride off into the countryside to fight danger, to protect their kingdom. Or maybe I'll just make it a little storage barn for when, you know, carts come in the front door. Don't know, haven't quite figured that out yet, but that's about how it's going to go. And oh look, we have an inner fortress. We have a, you know, the king's house. I don't know exactly what you call it. It's not like a palace or anything like that, but it's something like that. And down here we have a little bit of town built up, a few houses, and tavern. I really wish there was some sort of signs in this game, but I was a little goofy last night, and I was like, this'll work. Ale. Yeah, what kind of place is this? Yeah, you know. Anyway, some of these houses, rather small. Most of them are actually rather small. I don't have very rich peasants. They all do have a working oven, a working stove, or, you know, a cooking fire, connected to a chimney on the outside. As you can see, coming off of all of them. I need to have that little bit of realism. I need to have that sort of thing in there. So they all have fires in them. They all work, or they all appear to work. And as I stated in my last video, I'm not messing with the voxels in the ground. I'm not leveling the field. We are simply building into the side of the mountain as if, you know, it was medieval times and we couldn't move a lot of earth and we just needed to get a fortress up. Anyway. And as such, some interesting things keep happening with the lack of ground. Like this, couldn't really move it, didn't really want to move it, but this was still, other than that small area, a good place for a house, so we ended up getting this little platform. It's not quite finished, but you know, it was my first attempt at, you know, building something small through with the small wooden blocks, so I'm pretty happy with it. Now, this means you're not really going to have a second floor in this place. I still could have something if I really pushed it, but I don't know. It's still a work in progress. I'm not doing furniture yet and decorations yet. That's going to come a little later. Maybe even tonight I'll work a little bit on that to make it look a little bit better. And then this house ended up coming out this way just because I didn't want to have these roofs easily connectable, and I don't know, it just ended up coming out this way. It's a 3-floor cabin, cooking fire, decent level first floor, a little second floor for the kiddies or whatnot, and then third floor, your master bedroom area. So huge, but it is what it is, and it works, and it just kind of looks like somebody threw it up, which was what I was looking to do anyway. Now for some real work. This is the inside of the tavern, obviously, and this took me a little bit of time. If you look, I've built a lot of things in here out of the smaller wooden blocks. You can see a little bit is still poking out, but obviously this here is to cover the lack, you know, all the ground that was in the building, and I wasn't sure what else to do, and so I just started building up the stage, and then it ended up kind of being a half floor. And originally this wasn't supposed to be a tavern or anything. This was supposed to be just a home, but then I come up with this half floor, and I start doing the railings, and I'm very happy with all this, how all this came out. I feel like it looks pretty good for what it is. And I just started looking at this half floor and this little tiny floor up here I have up here, and I was thinking, and one of my viewers suggested on my stream, why don't you have a tavern? Why don't you have a blacksmith in your town? And I just looked at this, and this space just screamed tavern to me. tavern restaurant type of thing, because there's room here for tables and chairs for people to come and sit and eat. There's no room for more up here, another one back here, and, you know, cooking fire in the back, a little prep table for the cook, and maybe this becomes like the restaurant slash alehouse. I imagine a lot of those were kind of one and the same back then, if there was anything like that. Or even alehouses and taverns themselves, they did have tables for like cards and whatnot, and people coming and having a drink, and that ended up just kind of evolving here. Here's my bar. Nothing overly complicated, just a few bar stools, the bar itself, some shelving in the back to place the liquor on, and this just kind of ended up being like this, and I'm pretty happy with this. Some space up here for the bartender to live, or whoever owns the place, and their wife, and I'm still thinking maybe of coordinating part of this off into a separate room for maybe the barmaid lives here, maybe he has a couple of kids who work the place. I don't know, still working on it. Might do a little bit of furniture on my stream tonight so I get better ideas of how I'm doing this. Do have large decadent windows as much as possible. A, it lets in more light, and B, it really opens up the space, I feel. It really looks, I like how it looks, and this is just by using a doorway on top of a window as the space for a window. And that's just how that ended up coming out. Now on to the inner wall of the fortress. Go through this doorway. To the left, tower. To the right, tower. And we're actually going to fly up, and I'll show you that. Just everything, as much as possible, I tried to get passageways leading everywhere. Now these two towers, they do have stairs, working stairs all the way up to the top. Archers can perch themselves on both. This third tower in the back, this tall boy, is connected to the wall, and that wall is wrong. I'll fix that parapet and move it around the corner to where it needs to be when I start streaming later. Hey, I'm not perfect, don't judge me. There's a lot of space in the front here for archers or what have you to overlook the courtyard. There's more space in here for a couple of well-hidden archers, well-protected archers. One thing I did have a little trouble with, that I'm not 100% happy with, but will work, is I managed to make this little staircase, and the top section is made strictly out of the 45-degree angle stone block. The problem that ended up being with it is both angles were really sharp, so I ended up using these rounded columns to kind of change the angle a little bit. What I would like for it to be is a little taller, but this for right now will do. I might lift it up a little bit, but I've been having trouble with structural integrity on some of these lower walls and the openings and the arches. Like right here, I'll show you the bottoms of those arches, those walls holding them up. They're about ready to go, and even the arches you can see on my right and my left, they're about ready to go. Well, they're not about ready to go. They're about ready to get ready to go. Yeah. I hope I didn't confuse myself there. The staircase, still not sure how I feel about it. It's a mixture of the curved square staircase, instead as opposed to the curved rounded staircase for towers, and the regular up-down staircase. I feel like the railings fit better with it. You don't have to add walls. You actually get that angle on the outside. That's just ended up how that happening, and I enjoy this look. There's a little bit of Z fighting on it, especially when you move around. You can see it, or you hit certain angles. Yeah, there you go. You can see the Z fighting there. I'm really happy with how that turned out. In here, just some barracks. Probably gonna put a third floor for a few more beds. Still kind of working on it. Just sort of threw this together, and it works for me. And back through here. Tower, tower, tower. Now, over here we have the King's House. Yeah! Little tower for dignitaries and whatnot entering. Still no decoration. Entrance hall over here. Probably gonna put the throne itself right here between the columns, the pillars, you know, so people coming in and standing in front of them, you know. We've got this pretty imposing wall, and the look and the pillars, and there will probably be more there. Over here, we're probably gonna put some long tables and some dining area and whatnot for guests of the king or the duke or whoever's actually living here do have a double cooking fire into a chimney up top there. Not enough really room there for a kitchen staff. Probably gonna end up extending this room out at least to these 2 blocks, maybe 3 blocks. Can't really touch these wall blocks here, and I will show you why in a second. Through here, up the stairs, king's bedroom. This is gonna take a lot more decoration, more doors as large, window letting in windows. His royal shouting balcony, as somebody called it in my stream last night, and I like that. I like that name. Just a little viewpoint for the king to kind of look down over. The only problem is standing on it, you can't really see much because they made these banisters compared to your character like 20, like right in his eyesight. And even if not that, this wall's kind of in the way. You can't really see anything up here where this actual house is. Poor guy. But anyway, this tower goes all the way up over here, where there's, some more spaces for archers and whatnot. And if they absolutely need to, they can get up on the roof where they've got a good run-up and view of a wide area around. Still not sure if I'm going to connect this runway into this tower. I was looking at it, and I'm not sure how much I like this tower being connected to the wall. Once I was done, I thought it was a good concept at the time, but this wall here, this little fortress, is kind of like the fallback point for the castle area, right? Barbarians or another player gets in, and they're gonna get up on the walls pretty easy. And if they take the trouble of running all the way up and around, boom, they have easy access to the inner walls. I mean, all they gotta do is get up here and run down these stairs. I'm not sure how I like that. I need to start working on at least ideas for traps. And if anybody watching this has an idea for a trap for barbarians, for other players, to block things off, to kill and maim if need be, then go ahead and leave that in the comments below, and I will definitely look into it and I'll get an idea. The last thing I'm going to show, because it's the last change that I made, is... I need to fill that in. My ramp. Now, originally it was just 45-degree angle half blocks like this going down here. Now if you can see these though, they're not very good for... They're not very good at all for carts to get up. I mean, imagine being a cart, coming in and getting about right here and having to climb at a 45-degree angle to get up there. So I said, you know what? Let's build a ramp. Let's get something that's far better for a cart to actually get on. I'm gonna switch to my body real quick. And this is what ended up happening. This was a pain in the butt, because trying to get and build a wooden structure of this size, of this length, well, that was attached to the wall and had the angle, getting this to work right was a bit of a pain, to say the least. But getting it done, I feel it was well worth it. As you can see, the cart went up smoothly, and it's nice, and I enjoy it. I'm glad that I did it, even as much of a pain in the butt as it was. And look, it's not like a straight drop off for the cart, and I'm just very happy with that. And you've got some rails for some safety, and it works. Now, how I did this, quick rundown of that. Buried behind these blocks are catch blocks, and it's just an angled catch block. And it was just a matter of building the catch blocks for the angle, building them together with some square wood pieces, and then slowly building down a few, building up a post for them to rest on. Let's see if I can find the right thing. Let me turn on this for a second. Building up a post for it to rest on, building down some more, building up a new post for it to rest on a little lower, taking out the old one so I can slowly drop it down. And that was the only way I really found to get it down there. And even when I got it down there, this was tipped up maybe a block higher than what it was when it was down here, and it was half. And when I went to go for the final drop, the bottom of this block was in line with this crack, so it was up a block. When I finally dropped that in, it cracked and crumbled this entire half of this area, so this wood is very heavy. Did do some testing on stream last night, and wood is extremely resilient, these small blocks, so that's why I ended up going with it. Well, anyway, like I've said a couple of times, I am very happy with it. And I am very happy with how the castle itself is coming out at this point. Still a lot of work to do, still a lot of work ahead of me, but I will keep you updated, and we'll take this journey together. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to support me at all, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. If you didn't like it, hit that dislike button. But if you're going to dislike it, I would very much like to hear your opinion. You know, just to improve my build in the future. But anyway, that's all for today on this project, and I will see you tomorrow on a castle update. Thank you.